Coming up on Inside Lehman, researchers try a high-tech approach to spotting neurological illness before it takes a toll on patients. We'll show you how it works.
You've heard about the benefits of whole grain foods, but what does it take to find the right products? Your guide to healthy shopping is coming up.
And what role does etiquette play as you travel the road to success? An expert fills us in with the essentials.
So sit back and relax, because Inside Lehman starts now. Hello and welcome to Inside Lehman. I'm Alicia Reed.
And I'm Maurice Mercado. Well, we all know how devastating the effects of Alzheimer's disease can be, but what does it take to detect this neurological illness before the damage is done?
Inside Lehman's Jennifer Fernandez takes a closer look.
The subtle variations in the way we move our feet forward and the rhythm of the footsteps can reveal the earliest stages of a neurological illness. You can learn a lot about people by their walk. In this case, it goes much deeper than an observation that would be plain to see. Neuropsychologist and department chair Dr. Alan Kluger leads the team as they maintain an active research program.
Half of the faculty members in my department have won federal grants to do important research in both basic areas of science and in very applied and clinical areas.
The research team is working on developing methods in which researchers may predict dementia before it happens. The most well-known type is Alzheimer's, which affects memory, causes confusion, and impairs judgment.
The older you are, the more likely you are to have Alzheimer's disease. For example, elderly who are 65 years or above have a 1 in 10 chance of having Alzheimer's disease. Those who are over 85 have upwards of 40% chance of having Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's disease causes deterioration in the part of the brain known as the hippocampus. Brain imaging allows scientists to actually see the physical effects. Early detection is also based on data gathered through motor-based and verbal cognitive tests. Motor skills are evaluated on what's known as the gait-right walkway. It's an electronic mat that measures temporal and spatial gait parameters. 13,824 sensors relay data to a computer.
8, 3, 1.
Cognitive testing also plays an important part. Members of the research team provided Inside Lehman with a demonstration of a typical evaluation test by conducting the test on each other.
Very good. Now, begin at the beginning and tell me everything you can remember of what I read as close to how I read it.
Chicago, November 16th. The Royal Ballroom.
Researchers read a short paragraph to the participant and then ask that person to attempt to recite it verbatim. Even this is more difficult to interpret than you might think. Studies have shown that results are affected by one's level of education.
I really looked at the measures that are used to diagnose Alzheimer's disease in an elderly population, both motor measures like the gait measures and cognitive measures such as the paragraph recall test. And I really looked at how young people performed on those tests.
You may ask, how could I benefit from this research? For starters, if you're over 50, a baseline assessment of your condition is a good idea. Early detection of cognitive impairment can help in the planning of treatment and preventive medicine before the illness has gone too far. Just because you're young, that doesn't mean that this doesn't apply to you. Remember the old adage, the sooner, the better.
Nobody's giving you any experimental drugs just to go down there and get screened. You don't have to sign up for anything like that. Down there, yes. Is it difficult? Is it tiring? Absolutely. But if, God forbid, anything happens to you in the future, you know where you started.
These experiments and these tests will help to improve the quality of life for people that have unfortunately been stricken with Alzheimer's.
It's very encouraging to know that the work that we're doing right now can help so many people in the future. Alzheimer's is very detrimental to family life, to the person that it affects, to everybody.
So there are more people now alive who are in their 80s than have ever existed in the entire history of the world. And I think that indicates how important the problem this is.
For more information on this research, here's the number to call: 718-960-7291. Jennifer Fernandez, Inside Lehman.
In a world of increasing health concerns, people are looking for ways to keep themselves healthy by altering their diets.
And now public interest has begun focusing on the benefits of eating whole grain foods. With more on this, here's Inside Lehman's Christian Simmons.
Whole grain foods have been around for years, but the value of making them part of one's daily diet has only entered the mainstream recently. Health experts now recommend 3 to 4 servings of whole grain foods every day. What the term whole grain means is that the foods retain all of the parts of the grain that might otherwise be removed during processing. Whole grains are a rich source of nutrients that are essential to the body's health.
Whole grains are important because they provide major calories in the diet, and they are not high in saturated fat unless you add fat to them.
When grains are refined as opposed to remaining in their natural state, they are stripped of much of their fiber and vitamin content. In the case of foods that are enriched, some of these vitamins are actually put back. However, this doesn't always work out as well as nature's original packaging.
When they refine flour or any grain, they take out the germ, and the germ is the part of the wheat, for example, that has most of the nutrients.
Foods that contain all of their nutrients in their natural state can have a profound effect on the body, aiding in the digestive process.
And they also contain fiber. Some of this fiber is insoluble fiber, and the insoluble fiber promotes regularity. The soluble fiber will diminish the absorption of cholesterol.
The words whole grain have now found their place in the minds of the American consumer. As the population ages and faces the reality that you are what you eat, there's more of a focus on eating healthier foods. However, once the decision to eat healthier is made, there's a fair amount of work that goes along with it, such as reading the labels on food products, because as many health experts know, some foods are not what they seem. For many people, there is still confusion when it comes to the names on certain foods. While multigrain foods are not bad for you at all, some believe that multigrain equals whole grain. Not so. It just means that more than one type of grain was used. To be sure that the food you're eating is actually whole grain, you must see those words right at the top of the ingredients list. Consumer interest is growing, as shown by the popularity of natural food stores. There are many different ways to incorporate whole grains into your daily diet. For example, some people like to add flax seeds to their meals.
Probably for the past year or maybe year and a half, it's become extremely popular. So people either buy the seeds, grind it up, or they buy the meal, which is already ground. They add it to their cereal, to the yogurt, and it's a good source of fiber and some essential fatty acids that are important.
By simply substituting foods like brown rice instead of white rice, or whole grain pasta instead of regular pasta, you can easily be on your way to a better diet and a much healthier life. Christian Simmons, Inside Lehman.
Still ahead on Inside Lehman, it's science, detective work, and historical research. But there's even more to it than that. We'll explore modern anthropology. And time to suit up and go for the gold. Inside Lehman goes poolside to meet some champion swimmers.
There's a world of music study waiting for you at Lehman College. Lehman's Department of Music offers courses in electronic and acoustic music, music theory, composition, performance, and much more.
If you like solving mysteries, the study of anthropology can provide some exciting opportunities to do just that.
Anthropology is many things, like the study of human behavior, evolution, or the subtle changes that generations experience from one to the next.
Inside Lehman's Christina Pagan tells us more.
This is the real world of forensic anthropology. Many people only know what they see in popular television shows that dramatize a crime scene investigation, but it's much more than that. This is a detail-oriented science in which many pieces of evidence come together to provide the big picture. That's the specialty of Lehman College anthropology professor Vincent Stephan.
There are a lot of subfields within these broader areas, but as long as it deals with studying humans or their closest relatives, it's all sort of contained within the field of anthropology.
Dr. Stephan regularly consults with medical examiners in cases involving human skeletal remains. He's building a forensic osteology collection at Lehman so students can get a hands-on experience in forensic cases.
I'm called in to analyze a set of human remains ranging from being completely skeletonized with no tissue left to somebody that may be days to weeks old and still have a significant amount of tissue left on their body, but there's decomposed to a point that the pathologist really can't do much with the body at that point.
It's very clear that the trained eye of an expert can find a huge amount of information by examining what might otherwise seem to be minor details. For example, this human skull, which predates modern medicine, reveals the probable cause of death. Dr. Stephan showed inside Lehman how the victim most likely died from a dental infection.
This individual had significant dental disease. You have instances of severe large cavities on 2 of the molars that have eaten away a number of the cusps, opening up into the pulp cavity and the root canal of the teeth. And then you have one canine where the crown has been completely lost due to dental decay and a dental cavity.
Just as forensic study examines the evidence from the distant and even recent past, anthropology also examines the changes that are happening right now. We live in a global society in which the knowledge of international relations and cultural differences is important. Professor Krista Salamandra studies the changing culture of Syria as reflected in its television broadcasts. She and her students examine how Syrian TV reflects the past and at times even attempts to mold modern culture.
Well, as anthropologists, we're not so much interested in television as text. We're interested in the social context of television. So we're not so much looking at television as a media or individual programs in terms of their formal structure or their worthiness as artworks. We're looking at what they tell us about the societies in which they're produced and consumed.
In an age of satellite television, there are many influences affecting how people view their government and their social standing in the Middle East.
A lot of what is being produced now is produced not so much for a local Syrian audience, but for a pan-Arab audience. And a lot of the productions are actually being sold to Arab satellite television stations located in the wealthy states of the Gulf Cooperation Council. So it really does reflect the processes of globalization and transnationalism, or at least regionalism within the Middle East.
Anthropology provides many clues about how the cultures and practices of today are the products of many generations of development. It gives researchers an appreciation for the fact that humanity is a work in progress. Christina Pagan, Inside Lehman.
Taking a look back in time, a professor examines the history and the personal stories of a 19th century orphanage. Plus, a new graduate program in social work sets out to meet community needs. It's all part of our Lehman Minute.
Author, historian, and Lehman College professor Dr. William Sorrell is conducting research for a book that will examine the first institution in the country to provide total care for orphaned African American children. The orphanage was founded in 1836 in Manhattan and eventually rebuilt in the Riverdale section of the Bronx, where it operated from 1907 to 1946.
My study is a comprehensive study of the institution from 1836 to 1946. I'll be looking at everything, children who were indentured, their health records, their reasons why they were brought in, the efforts of the managers to raise funds, relationship with the Black community, and so forth.
Dr. Sorrell has met former orphanage residents who have gone on to become doctors, lawyers, and other successful professionals. The Lehman College Department of Sociology and Social Work has put together a new graduate studies program. It is the only master's degree program in social work in the Bronx.
Students will be prepared to do many different things. They'll be prepared to be clinicians, but they'll also be prepared to do supervision and administration in social work agencies.
The program is designed to prepare social workers for leadership positions in social service agencies in urban communities. Pamela Johnson, Inside Lehman.
It takes willpower and a real commitment to make it as an elite swimmer. The hours are long and the practice can be tough. Well, Inside Lehman's Lou Gonzalez introduces us to a man who has made the cut.
Darnell James has led the Lehman swimming team to continued success in what was supposed to be a rebuilding season. James was named the CUNY Men's Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year. His achievements were recognized as he also received the Lehman College President's Award in his first year of competition. In the CUNY Athletic Conference, James won the 100-meter butterfly with a record time of 53.74 seconds. He also finished second in the 1,000 and 500 freestyle. Winning the butterfly was a memorable moment for the freshman swimmer.
When I won the CUNY championships for butterfly, it was a great feeling because I had all my teammates at the block. It was against our biggest rival, so it was a good moment. When I got out, everybody was screaming, gave me hugs and everything. It was great.
The Yonkers native came from Saunders High School. The coaches knew they had a special swimmer on their hands, but it wasn't until the season began that James realized his full potential.
I did not expect him to get that fast, that quick. It usually takes a long period of time, but it just was shocking. It was amazing.
He's the kind of athlete who takes suggestions well, and he's able to do the things that you ask him to do. And because of that, with his natural talent, his natural feel for the water, he almost every meet he dropped time.
In all but one of 25 regular season competitions, James finished in the top 3. He led the team with 18 first-place finishes.
I think he's one of the elite swimmers right now as we speak. He was ranked number 6 in the Metro Championships, and he just missed making nationals. So he's an elite swimmer on his own right now.
Like most Lehman students, James has a job. Add that to his academic responsibilities, and he has a full plate. For this swimmer, his sport is his refuge from the pressures of everyday life.
Even when I practice, it gives me a chance to get away from everything. It takes my mind off a lot of things.
Darnell's future in swimming at Lehman seems bright. To accomplish what he did was impressive, especially since he did it all in his freshman year. His coaches think he and his teammates have a lot of promise and a chemistry that drives them to win. Lou Gonzalez, Inside Lehman.
Still ahead on Inside Lehman, what do you get when you combine modern and traditional dance and add some comedy? We'll take you to the movement revolution. Plus, you're getting ready for that big interview or that critical business lunch. You have what it takes. An expert shows us the secrets of success. All when Inside Lehman returns.
Why just go to the theater when you can have the theater come to you? Marilyn Sokol, Lehman College's Emmy, Tony, and Obie Award-winning distinguished lecturer, brings her tribute to Broadway legend Fanny Brice to the Lehman stage.
Hi, this is Marilyn Sokol inviting you to meet the best of Broadway and film in the Working Professionals series, which I host at Lehman College. Contact the Department of Journalism, Communication, and Theater for more info. 718-960-8217.
You know you made me love you.
Dance is more than an activity. It's a form of expression. And students in the dance program here at Lehman College have decided to explore today's issues by bringing an experimental production to the stage. Inside Lehman's Sade Newton has the details.
To create a dance production, it takes focus, dedication, and even some fun if it's going to work. That's what we witnessed on stage and behind the scenes at The Movement Revolution, a show designed by its creators to make an impact. Independently produced by dance and theater students, its staging breaks the trend of traditional dance by focusing on a variety of dramatic themes.
It's a variety show, deals with an array of issues. We're about to start Act 2 now, which is the more intense act. Act 1 is a lot funner, a little happier, a little naughty. Act 2 deals with more social issues, racism, sexism, domestic violence, covers an array of topics.
Yeah, it is a mixed bag. It's exciting because especially with the student productions, you're never quite sure what's going to happen, and often it's a pleasant surprise. Things just kind of explode, and that's what we have here is a really explosive, energetic, interesting production with a lot of fresh ideas that we haven't seen in a while.
The same explosive freshness on stage often translates into new experiences for performers and crew members.
It's been real cool to be on this cast right here. They, like I said before, they've been very positive toward helping me progress in this, and I hope to do another one with them.
Aquafina. Me and Tayshawn, we don't do that.
Well, first off, the ballet number, it was just a funny skit. It was fun to be involved with it, and it was just a chance for me to show a different side of myself that many people may have never seen before.
Overall, it's been a large project. It's been almost entirely student-produced, which is exciting because it's something that we really get to do, and it's been great.
You have to have patience and dedication, or you're not going to be able to do it. Everything that you've seen going on, they got it all down packed in a month and a half, so everybody's been really working really hard.
It was a show created by a true cast of characters. This dynamic and talented group let us share a taste of their motivation backstage. For these people, it's more than just a performance, it's a celebration.
She said, baby, let's go.
Sade Newton, Inside Lehman.
The way you dress and present yourself may make or break your chance to succeed. That's why learning proper etiquette is crucial. Inside Lehman's Nancy Oyuela shows us what it takes.
Looking sharp and knowing what the world expects are two survival tools that you can't live without. Whether you're a college student trying to get a job or you're already a member of the workforce, what you don't know can hurt you. Of course, you can call in an expert to help. Lehman College hosted an event known as the Etiquette Banquet, in which students learned the do's and don'ts that can turn a no into a yes. Anne-Marie Sabbath, founder of At Ease Incorporated, has written 7 books about domestic and international etiquette.
Business etiquette means what to do and when. Why not? Because the key is, when you know business etiquette, you can focus on the conversation at hand rather than worrying about which fork to use. You can learn, you will know how to enter a room full of strangers rather than feeling inhibited.
Some of the most important deals might be worked out during a meal. Lehman students learned some of the fine points, such as holding and positioning utensils. They also reviewed ways to stand out by politely introducing themselves to strangers.
The tips that she gave also for interviewing and then following up and being not aggressive, but taking the initiative of asking questions and, when can I call you back and things like that. Very, I think it's valuable for us.
It was a great experience because you got to learn a lot about the little things that we do wrong.
You only get one chance to make a first impression. It is your job to convince the interviewer that you are the best candidate. Dr. William Tramontano, Lehman College's Dean of Natural and Social Sciences, says you don't want to make mistakes when applying for graduate school admission or seeking a scholarship.
All of those little things like not making eye contact, not giving an appearance of the way you sit. The body language has to be, strong, forceful, but not arrogant. I think you can say things that are very, very much telling people who you are without really going overboard with it. I'm just a big believer in being yourself.
These are some of the don'ts of business etiquette for interviews. Never chew gum. Don't be late. Always arrive on time. Don't wear inappropriate clothing. Dress for success. Don't lie. Be yourself.
Remember Kevin Bacon's 6 degrees of separation. Everyone is 6 people away from the person who you and I have said, I really want to know. So networking before they want to apply for jobs is the most important advice I can give.
So how can etiquette help us in today's business world? Knowing how to carry yourself and how to stand out from other interviewees are 2 determining factors that can get you the job, internship, or scholarship that you desire. Just remember, your social graces are a reflection upon you in any setting, especially in the workplace. Nancy Oyuela, Inside Lehman.
Well, Alicia, I guess proper etiquette is a lot more important than we thought.
That's right, Maurice. But unfortunately, we've reached the end of our show.
But before we end, we want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our incredible Inside Lehman team of reporters and crew.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time for more news on Inside Lehman.
Thanks for watching.